sword and hammer. The sword and hammer is for a potential grab, or better yet, a grab from the right flank. So, the way we work this technique, and I'll start this technique by working it from the side first, is we're going to actually work with a check, and as we check, we're going to step directly into our opponent. Now when we step into our opponent, we're going to step into him, executing a right outward hand sword, so that the hand sword will literally comes up directly into the throat area. Okay, let's watch that part again. My first movement is a pinning check. I always check at this particular point. You'll look to find your opponent also. So this check will help you out on that. 2, you'll pivot into him and step into a right neutral bow, executing a right outward hand sword. Okay. 3, you'll pivot directly into your opponent while you execute a heel palm directly into the head. Okay, from that particular position, you'll pivot away from your opponent, delivering a right outward hammer fist strike, which should resemble your downward block. You'll move back from your opponent at that point. Let's watch it again. First movement, I check and I step towards my opponent, delivering a right outward hand sword. Second movement, I pivot directly into him, delivering a heel palm thrust, going into the face. Okay. 3, I move back away from my opponent, executing a right outward hammer fist strike. Move back. You've now completed with the technique. Okay, so from this particular position, Mr. Sims will actually check, and he'll step back towards him. As he does so, he'll pivot directly into a right neutral bow, delivering a right outward hand sword. Notice his right neutral bow, how it's now protecting his lower portion of his body while his left hand still continues to check. His left hand will now shoot and work down his arm while his right hand comes back into his body. From there, he'll pivot back into a neutral bow. His left hand will come back into a checking position while delivering an outward hammer fist. From that particular position, he'll cover out. This technique is now concluded.